I've been lied to my entire life, lied to in both words and in deeds. I was told you couldn't retire before 65, 70 if you didn't make enough money or didn't save enough. Lied to. Lied to. My parents, both sets, and my grandparents, because I'm of the generation pretty much only had one set of from each side of the family. My great aunts and uncles, every last one of them set the example by their deed, and occasionally there was discussion around the Southern dinner table about money, which wasn't often. You didn't talk about money, sex, or religion outside of your immediate, close-knit friends and family. But I digress. They lied. They said that you could not retire before age 65. They also set the example that you put in 50 years on the job and you spend 50 years at the same. But they lied. So here's the question. Can you retire before age 65? Can you retire before age 60? Are you allowed to? Is it possible? There's a saying that resonates with me. You can retire when you have enough and you've had enough. That's powerful. Let's talk about this, especially if you're a lady without the convenience of having a partner whose retirement fundage could possibly also be considered part of your retirement plan. Retiring before 65, 60 isn't just possible, it's powerful. It's not necessarily something that I considered doing for myself up until the last few years. Hi, first of all, I'm Jen. I got a little to say about a lot of stuff, and retirement is a hot topic with me right now. So up until the last couple of years, I just assumed I was going to work until 65, 70. I love what I do. But as time passes and we're losing our parents to age and aging issues, you begin to realize that if you wait until age 65, 70 to retire, you may just have a handful of years left. Those aren't necessarily quality years. So why keep working if you may just have the ability and the means to stop? So I started to unpack this a little bit. The example that was set for me growing up is both my parents worked. Neither one of them had retirement. They divorced in my late teenage, early 20s, and went their separate ways. Dad ended up retiring when he was 58. By choice, he chose just to stop pursuing additional consulting contracting work and to live with his side hustles. My mother remarried and thought she was marrying her retirement plan. Well, there's something to be said about that, ladies, especially I don't care if it's your first husband, your second husband, your fifth husband. If they've got retirement money, it does not necessarily mean it's your retirement money. The previous spouses or adult children who are more entitled than you as the current wife. I too divorced in my 30s. I was a self-employed entrepreneur who did not have two nickels to rub together. My pay was exactly what I could make in the open market. I did not begin socking money away until probably my early 40s. I've done very diligent. I got to tell you, first and foremost, if you are not currently living by a budget for even just a monthly oversight of where your money is coming from and where it's going, you've got to start doing it. For me, I look at my budget and I know exactly what every dollar's doing. So as Dave Ramsey says, at the end of the week, I know exactly where my money went, not wondering where it went. So I have a very realistic outlook what it takes for my expenses on a monthly basis. Now remember, when you retire, you're no longer actively contributing to a retirement fund. You are generally not earning an income outside of your retirement funds. You can, that is completely possible and allowable, but you will be very surprised on how little it might actually take you to retire. As y'all can see, I'm weaving in and out of traffic. I'm in downtown, leaving yet again after 4 o'clock. So Dad retired at 58, 59 without any retirement money, no source of income to supplement his health insurance. So he basically lived without health insurance until he was 65 and got on Medicare. I don't want to do that same path. So when I consider early retirement, I am definitely adding into the equation, if I retire before 65, the money I will need for health insurance and the money I need for my prescriptions. That is one thing I have been diligent with my doctors, is as they put me on different prescriptions, whether it's for long-term or short term to make sure that they're not putting me on these boutique, fancified, first gen prescriptions that are going to be cost prohibitive if I was unemployed or retired early. So you might want to consider that too. If you're thinking of retiring early, you need to evaluate that. Doctor could put you on any sort of generic to help cut cost, defray expenses. Another reason I thought that I would keep working to 65 or 70, because I work so much, I work so hard. There's really not a lot of other stuff going on in my life. So I didn't want to retire and be bored. I have learned, with the encouragement of my husband, my best friend, that there is life outside of work when we are retired. I no longer think I'm going to be bored. I took a day off work this week just to recoup. I had gone on a girls' weekend with all my nieces and my sisters. And the week before that, I was in Ohio traveling with my aunt, and I was exhausted. So I took myself a day. And that was the most glorious day. It was phenomenal. I could do that every day. I was out walking my property, seeing what the rain had done to things. It was just listening to the birds sing with a cup of coffee still in my house shoes and my slippers. I live in the woods, live in a cabin in the woods, so neighbors or anything to come see me. So what is it going to take for me to get to retire early? Well, I've already started socking money away. I'm forecasting what I anticipate my Social Security to be. I've never actually counted on that as part of my retirement income, but if it's around, it definitely will definitely offset some of the costs. So we're paying off all of our debt, all of our consumer debt. We're aggressively paying off the house. We would like to have the house paid off before we retire. I will force a rough budget estimate for the expenses that he needs covered on the month. I've been doing it since 2004, so this is 2025, so 21 years now. I've been very aggressively, perpetually budgeting on paper on a spreadsheet. It's nothing fancy. A legal pad and a pencil will do, and a calculator, because I do girl math in my head and it's not pretty. So if you don't have the sophistication of a spreadsheet or software, there's free apps out there that'll help you as well. Once you pay off all your debt and you pay off your house, if possible, go ahead and figure out what your retirement budget looks like and start living off the retirement money and put absolutely everything else into saving. If you're working with a financial advisor, find out from them where it's best to park it. Definitely a cash account is sort of volatility proof, gives you that warm, comfy feeling when the stock market's going crazy and you want to bail out of the stock market. Work with a trusted advisor. They can guide you through the pitfalls, the ups and downs, but pile up as much savings as possible and then work with them to figure out what to do, especially if you're retiring early, because now you've got a longer span of time to where your money needs to work smarter for you. And retiring early for you might mean you're going to retire at 62. Might mean that you're going to retire at 58, 45. But remember, the earlier you retire, the longer your money has to last into those years. So was I lied to? That's a metaphysical question. If my parents, my grandparents, and my great aunts and uncles lived their truth, and that's the example they set to me, was that a lie or was it just their truth? And now I know differently. I want to find out if I know differently. I would love to be able to retire early. Whether or not I do it, I don't know. But I don't want it to be because I didn't have the means and the fundage to do it. If I want to keep working, I'll keep working as long as I'm enjoying it and everything stays equal. So this isn't about quitting your job. This is about choosing a life outside of your job. Yeah, I've probably worked 45 years. I think I started working when I was 13 so far. That's long enough. And if I can figure out a way to lay it down and still live the lifestyle I've grown accustomed to we're not crazy, we're not extravagant people, and we're simple when it comes to entertainment. We pretty much self-entertain. So stay tuned. Leave in the comments. Tell me if you want to retire early. If you need some guidance or some suggestions of where to find a trusted financial advisor or if you have any questions. I'm also going to leave into a playlist of some of the retirement gurus that I follow. They are inspirational, but they offer a ton of valid information that I'm drawing off of for my journey to potential or early retirement. All right, peace out, y'all.